So in my area, there is a roundabout that causes many near misses on it every day. I experience them, unfortunately, a lot. I'm always ready for them, so of course it doesn't create a great problem. But what I'm looking at today is this roundabout poorly designed, or is it our attitudes that are leaning into making it worse? If you take a look at the roundabout itself, it doesn't stand out as unusual. It has a left exit and a head exit and a right exit. And I would just very simply call this a bog standard roundabout. It's the most common type that you will find on the roads. So what makes this one particularly poor, potentially? So the first thing to know about this roundabout, there's 3 of these that have been similarly constructed in the area. Very often when they turn either staggered junctions or crossroads into roundabouts now, what they actually do is build the roundabout off to the side, which takes months. And then over the course of about a weekend, they close the main road and they connect it. So I've very crudely edited that for you on the screen. I'm not a video editor, so I hope you understand what I meant by all that. The plus side for us is that we have no inconvenience while the roundabout is built. It's very good, it's forward thinking. And I think it's a great way of actually keeping the road flowing, especially the A140. It's the main road between Ipswich and Norwich. And if you close any section of that, it is a chaotic situation. But the downside to building roundabouts off to the side in the way that they have started to do now is it creates a bit of an off feeling roundabout. And to people that approach roundabouts correctly, I don't think this honestly causes too much of a problem. But to people that especially approach roundabouts a bit too fast, this is now where they are starting to encounter problems. So when the roundabout developers build a roundabout, they have 3 main tactics at keeping us slow as we approach a roundabout. So the first method is called deflection. Now, whether you understand what I mean from saying that or not, you will understand when I show you what it is. So deflection is where they curve the approach road so that we don't enter the roundabout on a straight line. And what that's designed to do, the majority of us will see that as the point that we should slow down. If we haven't already, we should be certainly slow to be able to control the car. The faster you go, the worse for your tyres, the more chance you're going to slip out of your own lane. So I'm going ahead at this roundabout, the second exit. So I'm going to keep in the left lane. There is no one behind me, so I could be a little bit more loose than I'm going to be, but I always like to practice good lane discipline. So the deflection is the point you can just see ahead of me now where it's curving to the left. Now that makes me want to slow down. I don't want to hoof it round this. Look where the curb goes. So to steer, that deflection keeps me slow. That's the idea of it. So that's the first method that roundabout developers can use to keep us slow. Now the second, that roundabout had it, and this roundabout coming up also has it, where as I approach the roundabout, there is shrubbery or a big statue or trees on the inside of the roundabout, and it completely blocks my view of the road ahead. So I should be thinking a motorbike or something similar could absolutely hoof it round there, and that with the deflection should keep me slow. And therefore when this lorry moves on in front of me, because I'm already slow, it's not a problem. Just literally, if we all approach roundabout at a correct speed, which we'll explore later, then I think we would get rid of half of the accidents, or the incidents, sorry, and the problems that we actually encounter on roundabouts. How many times do you watch dashcam footage online, and watching the cam driver, you're thinking, why are you going onto the roundabout at that speed? And then moaning at poor souls that have pulled out, not really knowing that you're going to come on at that speed. So that's the 2 methods to start with. The third method, there's none in my area, so I'll show you some pictures from Google Maps. There's a couple in Norwich that do this, where they, in the splitter lane in the middle, they actually put up a shield which blocks your view, partially or fully, of the roads to the right until you get much closer to the roundabout. And unless you are driving with 0 concentration, again, that is meant to make you go, oh, I can't see to the right. Maybe I'll come in a little bit slower. So that's the 3 main aims of those types of roundabout development. I hear a lot of people saying, God, I wish they wouldn't put the trees in the middle, but it's deliberate. It's meant to make you come in slower. So now what I'm going to go and do is explore why potentially people feel that this is such a bad roundabout that has been constructed in my local area. And whilst I personally believe that attitudes are the biggest cause of problems on anything, I do agree that actually there is some merit to what people are saying about this roundabout. Let's go and take a look. So welcome back everyone after the new year. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and New Year. Thank you to my more regular subscribers, of course. I love seeing all your comments on the videos. I'm starting to see a few more faces that are regularly commenting now. Please keep it coming. I love hearing from people. And I especially love hearing people saying things like, I've been driving 60 years and I really enjoy your videos. That's all the motivation I need to keep it going. So here's the roundabout, normal sign, absolutely no problem. Remember, it was built off to the side as I showed you earlier. Now coming from this direction, north to south, towards Ipswich, I'm going to go ahead in the left lane, of course the lane I should use. And what it creates is this time the deflection is wild. Okay, so I'm looking, it's nice and clear. And to keep in the left lane, I'll really steer on, and then it feels like I'm coming all the way around the roundabout to then exit. So it has a particular feel to it that is not like a usual roundabout. I find this with learners is they get very good at bog standard roundabouts where there is one exit left, one exit ahead, one exit right. As soon as you start putting the exits in different places, they start to struggle because they're in the habit of doing certain things. Think about yourself as a full license holder. Do you do things out of habit? And if you do, you'll probably approach that roundabout a little bit too fast and then end up like the people on my community board moaning that it feels weird. Do it slower. Now I'm driving south to north, the opposite way essentially, and look at the difference in what I find with the the deflection. So as I approach, obviously, I'm going to do all my normal stuff. I'm going ahead, so I'm going to use the left lane again. Looks like no one's coming towards me. And just look how little I have to stick. It's actually a straight line to move on to that roundabout. Now this starts to create the problem. If you look back at that roundabout I've just done, there is nothing in the middle blocking my view of the other end of the roundabout. There is nothing in the middle of my lane, the lane splitters, blocking my view to the right, making it harder to see, and there is no deflection. So there is none of the three methods that roundabout developers use to actually keep us slow. And this is where attitudes start to feed into it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and do that roundabout again. And I'm going to be very cautious how I do this, but I'm going to do it at the sort of speed that people are doing it. Okay, and I'm going to see essentially what sort of speed I can move on to that roundabout at, because there's no deflection. So this is where I have to play a little game, because I have to try and put a bad attitude on my head now and try and approach this roundabout at the sort of speeds that I see people doing it at. It's not going to feel great for me because I don't like approaching roundabouts at this sort of speed, but let's see what we can do. I'm going to have to be planning very early to make sure that this is of course safe. But because of the lack of deflection, the lack of anything really forcing me to slow down, I'm going to imagine I've got a bad attitude now and I'm going to approach this. It's a 50-mile-an-hour zone. I might not even really slow down that much, who knows? Let's see. I'll go to 40 because I don't feel comfortable higher. But there's no one coming round the roundabout. There's no one coming on from the right. So I'm just going to keep the gas on. And I shot onto that roundabout 35 miles an hour. That's the most I really felt comfortable. I see people doing it higher than that. The weird thing is that honestly didn't feel terrible. And that is why I think the roundabout actually is lacking something. It needs something to force us to keep us a bit slower. Now, I have a good attitude, so I was very early planning that. And the two major problems with this roundabout, the wild deflection that you get from going north to south towards Ipswich, causes many people to just simply use the right-hand lane to go ahead. And technically you can use the right-hand lane, but you should be using the left. It's much clearer to everyone where you're going. Because so many people use the right-hand lane to go ahead, I really feel that that actually kind of camouflages a little bit in people's minds the people that are actually coming round and turning right on that roundabout. So the amount of times on that roundabout where I've turned right into Mellis, and I have to be aware of people that literally will just pull out in front of me. As I come around the roundabout, they haven't detected that I'm turning right, even though I'm on the inside lane and I've got a right signal. So this time, same direction. I've got rid of my bad attitude. I've got my good hat on and I'm going ahead again, second exit. Now I teach learners that by the time they're at the roundabout, they shouldn't be higher than 15 to 20 miles an hour. Yes, they are learners, but they need to be prepared for anything. So I'm aiming for nearer to 20 because it's quite a nice open roundabout. And as I move on, yes, it's clear, I'm at 18 miles an hour on my speedo. That's more the sort of speed I would actually be aiming to get onto this roundabout. I wouldn't approach even the most open of roundabouts. Personally, the absolute max I might feel on one like that would be about 25. I would be really aiming towards the 20. You just can't have problems at that sort of speed moving on. 15 if you've got elements of deflection, if you've got a really busy roundabout and you can't see very well to the right, I would aim for nearer the 15. If I can see pretty well, I'd aim nearer to the 20. And it stops a lot of the problems that I feel could happen. All the problems on that roundabout just come from the speed that people approach it. You shouldn't need, in a way, deflection and blocked views to actually make you think, oh, I'm coming up to a roundabout, I could have things happening here. But let me know what you think. You know, obviously, if you haven't driven this roundabout, I imagine most of you probably haven't, from all over the UK, aren't we? But and some overseas subscribers as well, which is lovely. But do you see a problem with that roundabout? The problems I've highlighted, do you think that is a problem down to the developers? And, you know, do you see it as the biggest problem? Or do you see the way people drive as the biggest problem? I've never once approached that roundabout from that direction and had trouble stopping for someone that is coming around the roundabout from the other side of the A140 because of what I'm looking for at the roundabout. It doesn't matter the layout. I don't personally understand why so many people have a problem detecting that someone is coming round and turning right.